show.
Welcome back to the show.
And now, your hosts of the Card Subject to Change podcast, the For Frequency's Sake Tag Team Champions of the World, the Wizard CZ, and Never Wrong Nick Bull.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting edition of the Card Subject to Change podcast, the podcast by the fan for the fan. Of course, I am one of your hosts, Never Wrong Nick Bull. So happy you have found us. So happy you have joined us. If you're watching live, hit us up. We'll talk about the show. More about that in a minute. If you watch this later, leave a comment, like, follow, subscribe. We love those followers out there. I'm Never Wrong Nick Bull. Of course, my tag team partner is sitting over here to my right, be your left. He is the co-champ of the For Frequency's Sake Tag Team Network. We are the tag champs. He is the steak, and I'm the scissors.
Yes.
He is the one. He is the only.
Wait a minute.
I don't think Joe knows that.
We'll
We'll get to that in a minute.
He is the one. He is the only. He is the Wizard CZ. Wiz, how you doing?
Man, I'm feeling good, and we just got off a really fun day of shows.
We did.
Before we get into the heart of things and we introduce our third guest, who you all know if you watch the show, we are powered by Lopez Pizza, built by Durham Remodeling, and colored by Ryan Allison Tattoo.
Woo! Got it right. All right. I used to have to read that, but I finally have it memorized.
I'm glad.
I say it along with my prayers at night.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how I remember these things.
Now I lay me down to sleep, powered by Lopez Pizza.
I mean, I say it. I kind of get it in. After all the important stuff. But
that's fair.
I still say it. But regardless, he's the Wizard CZ. I'm Never Wrong Nick Bull. You know our third guest here tonight. It's a special live and in living color Saturday night, Big Daddy, on the mothership. We are talking about wrestling on a Saturday night, and we've got from the Educated Ignorance podcast, from Burden by the Bear podcast.
I promise that show's going to come back eventually.
Upcoming podcast that may or may not get talked about on this show. He is the show, Joe, the show Winkel. Joe, welcome back to the Highview Lounge. Welcome back to the squared circle that is the Card Subject Change podcast. How you doing?
Good, boys. Back in your life like a Shelton Benjamin clothesline after running up a ladder. We are here.
Oh, my goodness.
Back in your life.
That was fun.
That
was a lot of fun. A lot of fun parts of that show. We're not talking about Worlds Collide. CZ was able to watch the whole show.
Although worlds are colliding right now, as they always do when we get together.
They absolutely are.
Yes.
CZ, when are you going to introduce us as the trios champs of the? Just saying, you guys would be double belt holders.
Oh yeah.
Just out here making stuff up now.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, I think we are. Yep. It's been declared. We are the trios champs of the network. So go ahead and add that to our resume.
Tag team champs, trios champs, the undisputed best of them all on the For Frequency's Sake podcast network. We're better than you, and you know it.
And most importantly, the champion of their hearts.
Yes.
Exactly.
That's the most important championship I ever won, is the championship of the hearts of our fans. So I'm just throwing it out there. But when we're not going to talk Worlds Collide, CZ saw the show. Joe, the show, did not see the show.
Did not.
I watched it driving back on the interstate.
You were like in between. You're in between.
I was probably like 80% in. I heard the whole show and watched most of it, but we'll talk about that at a later date and time. Probably on the Kickout this week, right, CZ?
That's my
Go
plan.
ahead and say that right now. That'll be our episode of the Kickout. We'll break down Worlds Collide
Spoiler.
for you. Spoilers? No, we won't tell any spoilers. Anyways, what an eventful day. I mean, if you are a combat sports fan, you had Worlds Collide at 2 o'clock our time. You had Money in the Bank, 6 o'clock at our time. We've got a live feed here on the Highview Lounge and Studios of the UFC pay-per-view that's going on. Like a long day of fights, Joe.
I talked you guys into allowing me to bring my world into
absolutely.
into this.
I'm not against the fight game. I used to watch these a lot the UFC fights a lot, like back pre-Lesnar, and then like when
Lesnar's what got me into the UFC. I'm a wrestling fan before, obviously, but
dude, I'm telling
yeah,
you,
I
can tell you
love
exactly where I
mixed
was
martial
at UFC 100 when he, believe he beat Randy Couture for the heavyweight.
UFC 100, he beat Frank Mir, and then he beat Randy Couture. No, he beat Randy Couture before that. Before UFC 100, it was the fight.
He won
the title off Randy Couture and then defended it at 100.
Mir. Yeah, avenged his earlier loss, but
right.
Yeah, I was in Bettendorf at a bar having a burger and hanging out. My wife and I were hanging out with some other friends there. I think the bar got torn down to make the I-74 bridge now. So that's a lost story. But that's like I watched UFC back then, but like I've been so far removed from it. My son watches it and kind of keeps me up to speed on it. You mentioned, hey, when this came up with Worlds Collide and with Money in the Bank, hey, can we watch this afterwards? Yeah, sure, I'll watch it. I have no problem against it. I just don't know near as much as I like to think I know about wrestling.
There we go. Throughout the night, I'm going to feed you. I fed you all this information about Patchy Mix, and he definitely just got waltzed. So
it was Bautista guy that took the fight.
Yeah.
No, Patchy Mix took the fight.
Patchy Mix took it technically on short notice.
Correct.
Patchy Mix
was being in the fight.
Patchy Mix was 20-1 coming into this, his first UFC fight, and he looked.
He get TKO'd or was it decision?
It's going to be a decision, but he looked very bad. And
I know
he lit the parlay I gave one of my best friends up on fire. I texted him, "Hey, our parlay is about to get set ablaze." Before it even gets started. Luckily, I sent him a couple other bets that I like.
Do you know what CZ knows about the Octagon?
What does he know?
He knows that Ken Shamrock and Owen Hart fought in it at SummerSlam one year.
Amen.
The Lions Den?
Yes.
Wasn't it the Lions Den?
In the Lions Den.
It was a Lions Den match.
In the Lions Den.
In the arena, they had the Octagon set up. Off to the side stage. And then was that after the Hart Dungeon match or before? They did a dungeon match from the Hart family basement.
I don't remember, to be honest with you.
We'll have to look at that. We'll get our.
If you remember, and you're one of our correct viewers, hi Heather.
Hi Heather. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching. One of us has got to come up with that because it's been a long day, and I feel bad I don't know that. I feel like maybe the Lions Den match was like the payoff.
I think you're right. I think you are correct.
So
I mean, you're never wrong.
Well, that's neither here nor there. We can argue either argue gimmick or shoot, but regardless, no. We're here to talk Money in the Bank, and I was saying earlier before everybody showed up for the show, talked to CZ, and I'm like, you know what? Money in the Bank is a big four pay-per-view to me. It's a big four. You can take Survivor Series out of there because Survivor Series doesn't mean anything anymore.
Survivor Series has been lame for like, God, when was the last?
Do you know why it's been?
When was the last noteworthy Survivor?
It's been lame for a long time because back in the day, the Survivor Series was a wonderful idea because you got to see these wrestlers team together that you never seen team together before. But with TV being so evident now and everywhere, you've seen everything so far. So, fans don't want to see those matches anymore.
And the problem now is it turns into November is faction warfare month. So it's just like it's so forced.
Right.
And they've done a good job of getting away from the they've done a really good job over the last couple of years of getting away from the themed pay-per-views. Like, remember how Hell in a Cell every October, it's Big Rage Cage Box Month.
Right. And I like that. I do like that part.
Hate in the Crate.
But I think
Hate in the Crate. I've never heard that. That's a good one. That's a really good one. I like that. He said Hate in the Crate.
Hate in the Crate. Oh my goodness. That's what he does in his little kitty fighting federation. He puts kitties in a crate. I'm just kidding.
Like
Ghosty
kitties?
and Meatball going at each other.
Yes. Meatball's the devil, but
he knows. He's never met Meatball, but he knows.
I've never met Meatball, but I hear about Meatball all the
Poor
time.
Meatball.
Back to what is going on in wrestling right now. I wanted to say WrestleMania, of course. SummerSlam, of course. Royal Rumble. And to me, the next biggest pay-per-view with the highest stakes
Who's this one?
Is Money in the Bank.
Yeah, it sure as hell makes what Triple H said or whatever got leaked about him saying how he doesn't like the Money in the Bank concept pretty not good.
If he doesn't like the concept, here's what you do. Just make this standard. We have a Money in the Bank match every night at WrestleMania.
That's what I was thinking
Do
about.
the men one night, do the men night two.
Or
do the women night one, or do the men night two. That's what you do. You get away from the concept pay-per-view.
I was thinking that.
Do it at Mania.
I was thinking about that tonight, and I thought about it a little before. Like, they probably should do that.
Or do it at SummerSlam.
Yeah,
SummerSlam's 2 nights now.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. I don't have to have a Money in the Bank pay-per-view. I'd rather have it at a big-time show. What do you guys think? Would you rather have Money in the Bank as a standalone pay-per-view, or would you rather have it at WrestleMania or at a SummerSlam? I know where I stand. I'm with it being on a big show. It doesn't need to have a concept pay-per-view anymore.
I think the problem
with those shows going 2 nights, SummerSlam and
exactly.
Mania,
You can
have
split them up.
each night.
You split them up.
Absolutely.
So they don't seem redundant.
Yep.
The thing for me is like now the Money in the Bank pay-per-view as a theory was good when it first started because they would end up being these shows that actually were pretty loaded. Obviously, the biggest one of them all is 2011 that was main evented by Punk and Cena. But you've had other good like there was a Money in the Bank show. I think at what would it have been? 19. It had Seth and AJ for the title on there, which was an amazing match.
Who won Money in the Bank that year? Do you remember?
I think that would have been That would have been Brock. Sadly,
that's the year he walked in and
Bork Laser. But regardless, like now it's just like because these shows are all like 4 or 5 match cards, which you guys I don't like as much as you guys do. I kind of like it. I wish maybe it was. It's just be.
All right, rip the Band-Aid off. Rip the Band-Aid off. These WWE shows that are not, Rumble, SummerSlam, whatever, they're sticking to this formula now, also on the NXT level, of 5, 6 matches max. A lot of people like it. A lot of people don't. I want to know why you don't, Joe.
I just don't like it because on a night like tonight, there's so much filler and not much killer. Like, I feel like you could take out a lot of the in-between stuff and put one more match in there. You know? What match that would have been tonight? I don't freaking know. But, so I obviously, I hate when I'm doing what I'm doing, which is giving you something and not having a resolution for it.
Yeah,
but, I mean, on other shows,
that's fine.
If you're going to have these...
Who wasn't on the show that's currently kind of in a feud that could have done something?
Gunther?
Like, you could have had... Well, I'm just thinking, but, like, you could have had...
Well, Gunther has a match with Jay.
That's fair.
So he's kind of tied up right now. Is there a women's feud? Well, a lot of the women were in the Money in the Bank match.
But the U.S. title, Zelina Vega and Chelsea Green are still at each other. So,
like, I don't like how the men's Money in the Bank match was pretty much full of mid-carders outside of Seth. Well, I mean, it really was all mid-carders outside of Seth. And when you if you're gonna have it this way, stack the bejesus. Like the women's match, loaded. The men's match, I mean, we all knew. Obviously, we're gonna talk about it. I don't know if you want to start with that, or if you want to start with the actual main event. But like
whatever you want to start with.
But like, you know what I mean? Like, you could have put it together a bit better to make it not feel as. Which the Money in the Bank match was insanely awesome. I thought the men's one because there were so many crazy moments in it. I really liked it, but you could have take out God love him Andrade and take out flipping Solo. Though I mean you had to have him in there so you could do the base turn for Jacob. But you could have had why couldn't Punk have been in it? Or just he's the first guy I can think of in that sense.
Why was Punk not on the show at all?
Yeah, I know that's weird, but that's just kind of my thing. Like, it's okay to have these 3.5 hour shows, but a sixth match in there maybe would make it feel a little more like that. I always, what are we 15 minutes in? So I'm gonna quota my one time bringing up NXT Black and Gold because that's my gimmick. Those shows were always only like 5 matches, but the pacing was phenomenal because they would be over. And I don't mind the shows being long or 3 hours or whatnot, but 5 matches over 3 hours or 3.5 almost like tonight was. It's like, my goodness.
You just want a little more meat on the bone.
Just a little bit, I'm not greedy.
I can understand that. I'm on the fence. I'll be honest. I don't mind. I really enjoy the fact that there are not so many matches, because you look at the other side of the table and they overload it.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm sorry, 10, 11, 12 matches, counting the pre-show, not counting the pre-show, depending on the event, is too much.
Yeah, because especially some of those matches, like for example, obviously you're talking about like AEW, and we're not trying to make this an AEW versus WWE debate, but like for an AEW pay-per-view will have like 12 matches on it. The problem with that is some of the matches that you would hope could actually be really, really good might end up being short. Now, I think AEW's done a better job, because I think what Double or Nothing probably this year was only like, what, 8 or 9? I don't remember the exact count.
There were 9. There were 9.
I think AEW's doing a better job of that lately. They're doing a better job just in general, I think, in most stuff.
I think they're doing a better job with the product they're putting out there.
Yes.
I
It has now
still don't think Tony's doing a great job with the length of pay-per-views.
No, that's a fair take. That's
And
a fair
then we're
take.
doing 4-hour Dynamites in back-to-back weeks.
Well, yeah, because what they did the last two, like Wednesday, they did Dynamite and then Collision right after it.
They called it Fighter Fest, and it was 4 hours.
Yeah, because they did. They did the two shows technically back to back.
And
they
next
did them
week,
they did them
spoiler.
They did them live instead of having because usually they do that, but the Collision part's just taped and then shown on Saturdays, right?
No,
My knowledge.
not all collisions are taped.
Right. But anywho, so do you want to start with the Money in the Bank match, Wizard,
I mean,
or do we want to start with?
Let me just ask you
Do we
this.
want to start with former NWA heavyweight champion of the world?
no. We'll get there.
Okay.
Let's save that for the main event.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
But-
Sure.
Here's the thing. Was this the most predictable pair of Money in the Bank matches that has happened in recent years, I should say?
It depends on what you consider. Because if you were following the betting odds, which I never do, last night one of the last things I saw before I went to bed was that Solo Sikoa was the betting favorite, and I saw Naomi. I don't go out and seek them. I just saw it online, and when I saw Solo I was like, what the hell? Naomi, I had heard. I never thought Naomi would win until I heard people kind of talking about it recently, and I was like, oh, okay. You guys are more upset about it than I am. I'm like 50-50 on it, just because. And the women's match was loaded. Like it was all killers. And even though we don't like Naomi as much, Naomi has been the heel turn, the character change. I think she's done really well.
And here's the thing: it was all killers, but 3 of them are rookies.
Yeah,
3 of them are call-ups from NXT.
Roxanne, Stephanie, and Julia. Do you guys like the fact that they we already knew Roxanne was pretty much called up more or less in the Mania cycle, but like Stephanie and Julia being so quickly called up, like Stephanie losing the belt to JC Jane, right?
Right.
Is that
Yes.
But when you realize why she lost, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, exactly. And she didn't get pinned, right? When she did lose it, because wasn't it like a 4-way match or something?
No, it was one-on-one.
Outside interference.
Oh, okay, she did. Okay, my bad.
She got hit behind the ref's back.
Yes.
Okay,
And
but
then
still,
JC Jane hit her finisher and pinned her.
It was one-on-one.
Oh, okay.
But
my bad. I'm done. This just shows that I don't watch NXT weekly.
Fatal Influence, is that the...
But you understand NXT losing those people, why they did it. Because they have Mariah May coming in, or whatever they're going to call her.
Yeah, I guess we haven't really found out what they're going to call her yet, technically. But I'm glad she's signed. I mean, she seems happy, and I think it's a good move.
She took an enormous pay cut to come to WWE.
And I think
what does that tell you guys? Is it because everybody's dreams to be in the WWE?
I think that's
is it
what
because it's bigger crowds? I'm sure that contract's incentive laden. She's not just going to end up with that amount.
I think it shows that there is a certain type of person who just, when it's their dream to be in the WWE, you know.
Right.
Let me ask you this,
It's what Kevin Owens, aka Kevin, or formerly known as Kevin Steen, was his dream to always be in WWE, and that's why he never dipped his toe anywhere else.
Right.
And then finally got the WWE contract.
Let me play devil's advocate here. Is there any part of toxicity in the opposite locker room that played a factor? And I don't want to bash AEW.
I don't know. I don't think so. We haven't heard about it as much lately.
the Mariah May case to me is very interesting because, I mean, man, she was their champion. She was featured in the highest profile feud they have.
Yep.
Yeah,
They
it was the
had
biggest
with the
feud they
best-
had, men's or women's,
with
for
the
about a
best
year.
character AEW's put out there with Toni Storm, the best gimmick character.
Yeah.
You know, this timeless Toni Storm run's it's been great. She's a 4-time AEW Women's Champion now. So she was feuding with Toni Storm. Mariah May was. You know, maybe TK said, "Hey, we're still gonna push you, and maybe that'll make you want to stay." I don't know, but it seemed like it was a done deal. There wasn't like when she come, and it was like within a few days, boom, she's on TV.
Yeah, everyone kind of had a
was quick.
feeling right after she lost that was happening. Good for her though. Good. I'm very happy for her. I'm sure
I'm
she's going to do
interested
great
to
things.
see what's going to happen now because the girl can wrestle.
She's awesome.
And NXT is at a time it was the subject of our kickout this past week. The NXT women's roster now, which used to be the best, is now got to rebuild.
Yeah. Now
Guess what? They've done it before, and they're going to do it again. And
Yes.
this is the time to get in to NXT and start watching people you don't know on the women's side because that's the next batch of stars.
Now the main roster for the women's roster is stupid loaded
Because Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch aren't going to be around forever.
No.
Okay? Neither's Bayley. Neither's Natalya. All these older, more seasoned female wrestlers on the roster are eventually going to either go somewhere else, or step away from the business, retire, whatever it may be. You've got to constantly develop, and that's where, in my opinion, WWE cannot be touched, is the development system with NXT. When your development system is putting out quality television with really good PLEs, it says a lot to me. And I think that's why, that's why they're a notch above everybody else.
And with the addition of Evolve, that's only going to strengthen it even further because
How is that? Because I have not watched an episode yet. Have you watched one? I know he
No,
has.
I have not.
I watched one.
What, and
I thought it was decent. It's something that I would watch more regularly. I just haven't had the opportunity to. The downside is it's on Wednesday nights. It's the same time as Dynamite. Yeah, I'm kind of
it's over on Tubi, right?
right.
Is that
So-
hard to navigate, get to? Because I really don't mess around too much on Tubi.
Not
I've
really.
never watched anything on Tubi.
Okay.
Not really. It's pretty easy. You can find it right away.
Can you go back and watch past episodes?
I believe so.
Okay.
So that's an advantage. I just haven't done it. But they have a lot of young stars, and they have some NXT people that have dropped down, like Wendy Chu is on there.
Yep.
So they do have some quote unquote veterans
Sure.
helping Evolve out, but this is about the next generation.
I only know about Evolve through the clips. I only know about Evolve because their talent was featured in a match on NXT the other night. I can't remember everybody, the participants in the match, but Swipe Right was in the match.
Yes,
And they caught my eye. And I got to look up the match.
they're a fun little heel tag team. I'll be honest with
I
you.
want to believe like Obafemi was throwing those guys around, and those guys are those guys remind me of Alpha Sigma Sig.
Okay,
In
That's
Wrestling Revolver.
Wrestling Revolver. For those of you who don't know,
They're an indie. Alpha Sig Sig. We get ass.
Huh.
And
Never heard of that.
they're a frat.
That sounds fun.
They've got a pledge who takes all the outside bumps for them. It's
That's gold.
genius, dude. They're a fun watch.
Okay.
Keep your eyes out. I mean, they're going to be. I think if they keep going, look for them on the TNA.
Okay.
Get on TNA at some point.
and I'll be honest, one of the standouts from there is the head of Alpha Sig Sig, and that's Trent Oakley.
Yep.
Or is it Trent or is it Brent? I know Oakley is the last name, and I can't believe I'm blanking,
You
but
know
he
what?
is.
After we get off the air tonight, we got to show Joe an Alpha Sigma match.
That's fair.
Okay. More on that later. Are we still done talking about the Money in the Bank men's match? I hope not, because
No,
No, it's going to.
we
My
haven't even
biggest-
scratched the surface on either of them.
we talked about how this was like the most obvious winner for the men's, and I got out of my chair a couple times. They had me, and great job to them, WWE. They had me fooled. I knew Seth Rollins was going to win,
Yeah, there was
but
one.
I thought LA Knight needed this more than anybody in that match. This guy was like promised the world and has had a couple less than memorable U.S. title runs. This is his third Money in the Bank match without
and twice
winning.
now he's been
the final
the
out.
bridesmaid, not the
Yeah,
bride.
correct. The final out of the Money in the Bank. So
Not only that, but
I'm
didn't
bummed
he?
for him. Solo Sikoa, he's fine. He's got his next path.
Right.
Andrade, thanks for coming. I don't know what we got next for you. Right? Okay. We know where
Probably
Rollins is going.
15 more.
Who
Can I
else?
ask-
El Grande Americano.
That's where they had me. I actually thought he was going to win
And Penta.
when he did the.
Oh my! And Penta, you're right.
When he did the spot where he went up the ladder, that was an amazing. It's nice to see them get creative with stuff because that was very creative.
And I'm telling
The
you,
ladder for up the post, and then the little move to get on. That was really impressive. That was really cool. Shelton Benjamin walked so El Grande Americano could run. That was hilarious. And then when I thought that was when that happened. I was like, oh, he's actually going to win this. And
Oh
then
my
he
God!
did.
I don't know.
And there were like 15 other spots after that were just bananas.
Don't get me wrong. I think it'd be a completely different show right now if El Grande Americano won. I think we'd have a totally different vibe. Not to say like we're bummed or anything. I had a great time watching that show tonight. It was
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But I think there was a lot of down times with it, even though it was the 5 matches. It started off with 4. We'll talk about how it got to 5 here in a little bit. But the men's match, I feel bad for LA Knight. We know what Solo Sikoa is going to do now. What's that? Well, Jacob Fatu turns
Right.
and prevents Solo. I hate you.
That was great. That was
Prevents Solo from grabbing the briefcase. He had it.
I don't think they're dumb enough to do it, but please God, have it be that being a face turn and not Solo be a face. I'm just worried that they are very dumb.
Are you
Here's-
kidding me?
I know,
They
but
listen to the crowd, dude.
I wouldn't say that, but not all the time.
We want truth.
Okay.
We
And-
want truth.
Thank you for throwing that back in my
And
face.
Solo on Friday night, last night, it's Saturday. Solo was talking derogatory comments towards.
Yeah, they've been
Jacob
teasing
Fatu,
it
he
for a
said-
while.
So
So
Solo
that's-
is
yeah,
definitely the heel.
okay, good
There's
point.
no chance.
That's a good point.
Let me ask you this. You mentioned Andrade. Had no business in this match, in my opinion. I don't have a problem with Andrade. I think he's a very talented young man. He's a former NXT champion, so
He's a
he
former
does
Flair.
have some chops. Yes, he's a former Flair.
Couldn't help myself.
Shame on you.
He was in Ric Flair's
Last match.
absolute last match for sure. People are gonna forget about that over time.
Would
They're
his,
gonna remember.
It's going to be a fantastic trivia question.
They're gonna remember Jay Lethal. They're gonna remember Jeff Jarrett, but they're not gonna remember Ric Flair's partner.
El Idolo, his son-in-law.
would his spot have
His
been better served with like a
former.
Carmelo Hayes?
I was just thinking Carmelo Hayes would have been great in this.
Would have had some pretty dope spots.
Hi, I'm
Yeah.
Carmelo Hayes. I did not make WrestleMania, and I did not make Money in the Bank.
Yeah, poor guy. R.I.P.
He's
Can I go back to the LA Knight thing for a second? Do you
By all
guys
means.
do you guys worry that eventually the crowd fervor with him is going to die off because they keep honey dicking us with him?
Well, I'm telling you, that's why I wanted him to win, because the pony dicking would have stopped, and I would have had him turn heel after he cashed that thing in.
Yeah.
Not after he won, but after he cashed in.
Like hit the cash in springs the heel turn.
Wins the
Yes.
championship.
Like kinda
gets
how-
on the mic. Cut my music. Do not cheer now. Do not cheer now. You know, type of deal. Yeah, I think that would save him.
Yeah, it sucks. I mean, but I'm glad Seth. I don't know if glad's the right word, but Seth winning is the right call, I would say, because I think Seth's gonna. If I had to be a betting man, Seth's winning on Monday.
That'd be my guess.
I
as
told
well.
y'all Seth should have won the world title the night after Mania with the heel turn, but obviously they didn't do that. That would have been what I would have done.
They can't do.
Okay.
Well,
But I'm just
on
one man with
Jay?
opinions. Hell yeah!
How does that
So
play
let it
out?
being a complete
How does that
utter
play
difference.
out though on Monday? Does Gunther win and Seth cash in on him?
No.
Does Jay win and Seth cash in on him, or does it turn into
In
a triple threat
in a-
like it did at 31?
In a perfect world, he retcons. Retcon wouldn't be the right word for this. He redoes. He makes 31.
Plays it back, runs it back.
Runs it back, wrestles it back. Even
who takes the pin?
we were supposed to have a long eye contact hold there for a
I
second,
know.
but you just no-sold me. Thank you. Who takes the pin? Jay. Jay does.
Jay takes the pin.
Yeah, because I think you hold off any sort of Gunther stuff.
Yeah, because Gunther's going to do
Let him stop
the Goldberg thing in Atlanta on Saturday night's main event. Yada, yada, yada.
You
Bill
set,
Goldberg.
you
Bill
say-
Goldberg.
you set the rule that you have to say his full name. That's like the third time tonight you
I'm
didn't.
gonna tell
So
you
I'm
this.
just saying,
I'm going to tell you this.
breaking your own
You're
rules.
45
Highview
years
Lounge.
old
You forget stuff.
with 3 kids.
Oh wow! Blame your age and your children. I see. Good job.
No, when you
Oh.
are, I'm going to call and
Okay.
ask you random wrestling facts and questions, and when you get it wrong, I'm going to be like, see?
No,
So now-
I'm just quoting back the rules that you set. I'm
Joe.
being a good friend.
So it's going to be Gunther, Bill Goldberg at Saturday night's main event.
The match no one wants to see.
Oh,
Joe
yes,
Winkel
I
over
do.
here.
The only person that wants to see that is Bret Hart, because Bret Hart is going to love watching Bill Goldberg get his nipples chopped off.
I want to see that match because I was never a Goldberg fan.
No,
That's
Never,
fair.
ever a Goldberg fan.
I wasn't either, and that's why.
Not
that's why I don't.
not
wanna
even
see
the
it.
Goldberg Brock Lesnar match at WrestleMania with Stone Cold as the referee.
Greatest
No,
The
WrestleMania
greatest
of
match ever.
No,
I'm kidding.
all time.
No.
Screw Edge and Randy Orton. That was the greatest wrestling match of all time.
That match was.
I'm telling you what.
If you haven't seen that
You
match,
know what?
go back and watch it. It's
I'm telling you
awful.
what. We can laugh
My
at it,
legs are
guys.
tasty white.
Guys, we can laugh at it. We can laugh at it, and I know I've referenced it before too, but we didn't have rest. If we didn't have that at the time, what the hell were we going to get? That was a tough time,
Very tough. Yeah.
and there was no crowd, and they had the greatest wrestling match of all time.
Of all time.
Of all time.
In front of nobody.
I'm just basking in the fact that Joe's over here trying to blame Landon Bull for your memory loss.
Listen, Landon Bull's done a lot of great things in this world at his young age,
You know,
and one of them has caused your memory
cause my memory to
dissipate.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, fair enough.
In your words, not mine.
So you would have rather seen Carmelo Hayes in that spot.
I would have. I think it would have been.
Why not everyone's new favorite wrestler, Karrion Kross?
I could make an argument for
I would've
Karrion
loved-
Kross as well.
Him being in that match, it would have done so much more for him. He doesn't need to win. He's
No.
in the match.
Yeah.
Like, read the room. He's got like a top 5 selling T-shirt on WWE Shop. They're selling his T-shirts now at events. The fans are behind him. This is your grassroots guy. This could be like your next guy you've pushed to the moon, like Bryan Danielson.
Yes.
I am not saying Karrion Kross is a better wrestler than Bryan Danielson, but you remember kind of the Yes movement. They could do something similar with the groundswell that Karrion Kross is starting to get from the fans. The fans are starting to figure it out with him.
It would be
And-
cool.
And I would rather seen him in this match tonight than Andrade.
Not an incredible worker, but the presentation's always been top notch.
I mean, again, former NXT champion,
Twice.
brilliant in NXT.
The man who
Wasted.
ended the takeover era as NXT champion. Well,
He's
losing the NXT title.
Legit tough guy that's breaking bats with his legs.
Yes.
No, he's a dude.
He's a dude. He's got the girl. He's living the life. Let's let him live the gimmick. Let's let him do his thing. Because I'll tell you what, I'd rather see him on TV than the War Raiders and the New Day for the 85th time.
The Viking Bikers.
I'd rather see that guy on my TV than Otis and Akira Tozawa.
Can we go back to Seth real quick?
Sure.
No.
Just I'm not here directing. I'm the man now. This is my show.
He's trying to take over our show.
Card subject to show. Joe subject to Winkel.
Card subject to
What are you trying to
ignorance.
say?
So, if he doesn't win the title Monday, does it become a question of what are we doing here? Like, is he really going to parade around with the briefcase for a long time? Especially how you were talking earlier, like you hated how Damian Priest waited forever while he had literally the numbers advantage, like the Seth Rollins gimmick now, in a good way. I love the Dangerous Alliance, even though they're not calling it that. He's got two of the beefiest beefs to ever beef as his gunner, as his heaters. Like, they should absolutely run, like, not make it a triple threat match. During the match, when the climax of it is Braun and Bronson just go in there and wreck those two guys. And then Seth comes out and cashes on Jay.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I could live with that.
Like, I feel like, because my theory, and I said to y'all tonight, was I feel like the theory is now.
Like, they got to be used to help him get the title.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't have muscle and not use it.
Yeah.
That's what frustrated me so much, like you said, with Damian Priest. Like, the Judgment Day always had the numbers advantage.
And he
Always.
waited forever to catch
And
it.
he dicked around forever for WrestleMania. Fine. It was cool when it happened.
It's awesome.
It was great, and I'm happy for him. But they can't do that again when
No.
Rollins not only has the freaking numbers advantage, he has the machine advantage. I mean,
Yeah, I think, and I said to y'all tonight, I think we're heading towards Punk and Seth at SummerSlam.
Night one.
Night one main event world title match.
Neon Lights, Nobel Prize. Rollins
Yeah. Due to nefarious
Christ.
shenanigans. And then do we get Punk in another Hell in, does that feud build into another Hell in a Cell match at Bad Blood again? Punk wins the belt at Bad Blood?
I would think if Punk wins King of the Ring, which we're kind of thinking that's
He would be my
that's the
betting
way for
favorite
him.
right now.
That's the way for him to get into the title picture. Now that he wasn't in Money in the Bank, Punk Rollins. But I think if Rollins beats Punk at SummerSlam, like, I don't think you can run it back.
Interesting. Yeah, because then it becomes how long does Seth hold on to the belt for? Which I don't want to
think you can run it back, and here's why. Because we're going to get Run It Back Mania night 2 of SummerSlam with Cody and John Cena.
Yeah, and you don't want to just have rematches in your top feuds.
You can't do that, man. You can't do that.
They clearly set up.
Unless those feuds are just fire. You can't do that, man.
Which Punk and Seth have done the dance, and it's been really good. But yeah, how long could you just continue to dine on that? I don't know where. We're at the point now where I don't really, speaking of Cena, I don't really know where we go. Because if I had to bet money, he's going to beat Cody at SummerSlam, even though you don't think he should, if that's where they go, which they're clearly going to. I mean, if that's not the main event of night 2 at SummerSlam, I will be
Does he
stunned.
Does Cody win and Cena turn back? They hug and kiss after SummerSlam. Good night.
Maybe
Thanks for watching. Is
that
that how SummerSlam night 2 ends, fellas?
maybe something
Because he's not going to retire
as a heel.
He's just not.
I would say this. Here's the thing, and as much as I love Cody, and I know we're shifting gears, the one thing that would have me not liking Cena beating him is that I feel like we've tried to tell this story how Cena is going to end. He is basically going to run out the clock of his career.
He's going to hold the ball.
Champion.
He's going to hold the ball.
And he's going to leave with that title. And I feel like if he loses it and does, I would assume it would lead to him trying to win it back, but as a babyface, I don't know. But I don't know. I feel like we gotta go through with it. We gotta continue the chase of him running out the clock as champ.
Okay, if that's the case, sorry. What about Cody? Cody loses to Cena twice on the 2 biggest shows of the year.
The only,
I don't think he can even be talked about or mentioned in a title picture unless he wins the Royal Rumble, and I don't think they're going to have him win the Rumble again.
the only thing that I could say would save him is that the fact that both times Cena beat him. I'm assuming if he would beat him again at SummerSlam,
There would
that's the route
be
we go.
chicanery.
Exactly.
Okay.
So he's
Yeah.
protected, quote unquote. Which is I don't mind that. Which that's just my.
So they're going to give us the
same.
same ending as they did at WrestleMania.
Yeah, it can't be the same exact ending, but it's going to be, it's going to have that flavor to it.
Can I spin something?
Absolutely.
Spin Doctor.
What if there's a double turn?
God, that would be fascinating.
I don't want Cody heel,
No?
and I don't think Cody wants to work heel. That's why Cody told Rock no, and this whole thing went down.
One day, but just not now.
One day,
One
yes. Remember how we always wanted the John Cena heel turn?
Yeah, we're going to get the Homelander.
We want that with Cody.
We'll get Homelander douchebag Cody.
We'll get it
but
sooner than we got Cena's, but I don't think it's time yet.
No, it's not yet. If Cody would have stayed in AEW, I think he eventually would have been a heel. But
If you want to do it, you do it at Mania.
because I still think we're on the path of I'm praying. If Cena retires with the belt, the Royal Rumble match is for the title.
Don't say that.
I'm praying. It's where I'm here. It's
That'd
what I'm
be
here
amazing.
for.
That'd be amazing.
It's still there. It's still alive.
That'd be amazing.
The dream is alive. All right. Any more Seth Rollins Money in the Bank thoughts?
I don't think so. I think a lot of people believe Monday night is going to be
The end of the Yeet
I
Man.
mean, they really have been playing up Jey Uso not being 100%.
Yeah.
Going through the ringer here, getting beat up in these high-profile matches. So there's his out. He's got a mega out.
He's been champ long enough. I mean,
He's
I
got
know
a
it's been
mega
like 2
out.
months,
If you
but
got Bronson and Braun coming to the ring with Mr. Paul and Rollins, duh, it's got to happen Monday night. It has to.
And Joe said something that really struck with me. He's been champ long enough. Jay has been champ for long enough to not be considered a transitional champion,
yeah,
in my opinion.
Has he?
I think
it's
so.
only been like 60 days now by now, but still, if he's losing to the guy who's the biggest heel act, well, not other than Cena, obviously, but one of the biggest.
And by the means that he may lose by it being a run-in, that's fine.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No,
Not only that, but you've got
Not
to
every-
imagine he's going to get his ass handed to him by Gunther first.
not every champ,
Right.
not every title reign needs to be a bajillion days.
I agree with that, but I also don't want guys holding a heavyweight championship for 2 weeks. And I know they did that a lot back in the NWA days. Different time, different product, different way to present it to the fans. I don't want a guy being a heavyweight champion for 2 weeks and then dropping it and you never see him as a heavyweight champion again.
Mm-hmm. No, you're not wrong.
Right. I agree.
Never wrong.
No, he is never wrong. What match do you want to bounce to next? Wizard?
I mean, we're talking about Jay and Cody. We might as well talk a
is the
little
main
bit about
event.
the main event.
We've kind of talked a lot about that match, but we all thought something's big's going to happen. Do they cash in? Does Seth cash in during this match? It would make sense, right? I guess there'd be more guys to take out, but it just made sense. You expected something big to happen with it going on last, right? They gave us that suspicion, that hope that it might be a cash in. What'd you think of this match as it being the main event itself?
I'm not upset with it, and here's why. You have both your world champions in this match,
Uh-huh.
and you want to showcase them as much as possible. So having them in the main event, even if it's a tag match, even if neither belt is being defended, doesn't upset me. And I agree, they were teasing, every time the Money in the Bank match, men or women, is early in the show, you think, okay, someone's going to cash in. Drew did it. Didn't he?
No, he didn't. Failed.
Well, he attempted his cash in the same night.
Yeah.
But look at Look at Dean Ambrose, John Moxley.
The artist formerly known as
Way back when it
Look at
was.
Kane.
Kane was the Kane was the OG same nighter.
Yeah.
Yep.
All those had the Money in the Bank early.
All of
at the main event.
All of the women's ones were same night.
I was looking up those stats when we were talking about men's Money in the Bank winners earlier. The women have had 7 Money in the Bank matches coming into tonight.
Okay.
All 7 have been successfully cashed in on the women's side. Got to throw a curveball here sometime, right?
Good.
God, I hope they do. Because this women's Money in the Bank match tonight, I was so excited. Rhea Ripley, Stephanie Vaquer, her second match of the day. Julia, Roxanne Perez. Hey, I can be excited for Alexa Bliss. You know, handful of matches she's had since she's been back. And then we've got Naomi.
Proceed with caution with the next thing you say.
More ways than one.
Since Naomi won the women's Money in the Bank match, we're going to do a future podcast with CZ wrapped in caution tape
Stay tuned.
Please.
and wearing glowing shoes. I mean, I'm
I am-
sorry.
I am more than here for that.
But immediately I'm supposed to think that it's going to be Naomi and Tiffany.
Because of that, it was the best result on the card. You're actually going to go through it.
What?
Yeah, if you're actually going to wrap him up in caution tape, then this was the best result on the card.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Everything's got a price.
You got some competition for being never
You
wrong.
know what? I'll give you this. It's got to be an Owen Hart Naomi mashup.
Okay. Can I wear a prosthetic nose?
You wear whatever you want, buddy.
Can I scream out how I'm not a nugget?
Yes.
Can I do? Can I go total Jason Sensation on this one?
You're
Yes.
silly.
Okay. Just look at how big my damn nose is.
Oh boy.
Oh, I don't know. I was just bummed. I knew she was going to win. It was just too good. But at the same time, you got to have some shock value at times. You know, is Jade going to figure in to her maybe losing that title shot?
Good.
Maybe Jade wins it in a match. Maybe that's the route they're going. I don't know.
I don't want to see that.
But stay tuned. I was bummed. It was still an okay match. I thought the women did a pretty good job.
I don't have.
I hold my breath during these ladder matches with the women because I just don't want to see one of their faces get like completely busted open.
Right.
You know, like I always wince, even in the guys' matches, when they're on the ladder and then do the spot where they land on their feet. I'm always thinking some guy's going to nuke his knee right in front of us. So, like, I'm always leery of the women's ladder matches. I just don't want to see the women's.
Yeah.
I know it's predetermined and whatnot, but accidents still happen, and I just don't want to see someone's like a women's face get busted open.
I agree.
I just don't.
We saw that on Saturday night's main event when Zelina bopped
Broke Chelsea Green's nose. That's a little
green
different.
nose.
Accidents do happen, but yeah,
Right.
that was gross. Man, that was bad. Any more thoughts? Do we have anything new coming out of this women's Money in the Bank match? Like, or do we have?
I want to ask you something. You mentioned the possibility of Jade taking the briefcase from Naomi.
Uh-huh.
I want to know your feelings on that concept in general. It's happened a couple times. Ziggler.
I'm totally fine. I'm totally fine if it's defended. Now, should it be defended every week? No. Maybe the culmination of a feud on a pay-per-view, sure, or a PLE. Maybe the event on a Monday Night Raw. But yeah, I think it should be able to be defended.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
there's been
can
a
get
couple
behind
times
that.
there's been a couple
Because-
times it's actually been defended.
Actually, I'd like to see a stipulation. I just thought of this. I know it's you got a full year to cash it in. I would like to see it knocked down to 6 months.
Ooh. Okay. Like they got to cash it in the calendar year
Yes.
before the end of the year.
Yep. Or like, if you did it in December, you got to be done by, cash it in before, in June.
Okay.
But
That's not bad.
I think let's change this. Let's keep it the way it is. But if you're still a champ 6 months in, you got to start defending that. Like if you haven't cashed it in 6 months,
You got to defend
you
it.
got 12 months to cash it. If you don't cash it in the first 6,
You got to defend it.
it's kind of like you get 6 months free
Hmm.
of not. You don't have to defend
That'd be
it,
a nice little wrinkle.
right? Little
Yeah,
wrinkle.
yeah.
But after 6 months, you got to defend it.
That's not a bad little zesty thing to it.
No, I like that.
Yeah, I don't have too many thoughts on this. Hoping we get a Stephanie Vaquer Rhea Ripley match at SummerSlam.
I
That'd be
think we're
pretty
going to
cool.
get Stephanie Vaquer on one of the nights of SummerSlam. There's a
Hell
reason she got
yeah.
moved up, fellas. They're going to.
You think she's going to win a title that
Yes,
quick?
I think she has a title before the end of the year.
Oh, easily. Yeah. I was just thinking how fast. Dominic Mysterio had a match tonight that lasted 38 seconds, it felt like.
He did have a match tonight. That match got added on Worlds Collide earlier today. The show between WWE and AAA. We'll talk about that more on the Kickout later this coming week. This is the Card Subject Change podcast by the fan for the fan. We are powered by Low Pies Pizza, built by Durham Remodeling, and colored by Ryan Allison Tattoo. I'm never wrong, Nick Bull. He is the Wizard CZ. He is Joe the Show Winkel. We are breaking down.
And I am.
We are breaking down Money in the Bank late on a Saturday night, Daddy-O. And this is, I love doing these live react shows. These are, no offense to our guests or, review shows, but like, this isn't more like this is like just a discussion show. We're talking about the show, but not really reviewing it. These are my favorite shows to do, by the way. But regardless, we've talked about the men's Money in the Bank. We've talked about the for the first time, he looked like a star. He didn't look cartoony. He had this mystique and this look to him, how he was carrying himself and presenting himself and talking and stuff.
And he's so hilarious.
He's good, dude. He is good.
Yes.
He's going to be really. And then when Roxanne comes into the picture, and then Liv gets booted out, dude. Look out!
I'm telling you, man. What's going to happen is Roxanne and Finn are going to be the ones that are going to kick him out, and Dom's going to be a babyface. I know it's going to be weird for Liv to be a babyface again, but they're going to be babyfaces.
I don't think Finn's staying heel.
Well, maybe. Okay.
That's
All
a guy
right.
I could have
We'll see.
seen in the Money in the Bank match. That's another guy I could have put in there.
Yeah.
Karrion Kross, Finn Balor. Finn Balor, by the way, who hasn't won a singles match in a year.
Jesus, poor bastard. Give me Dom Mysterio versus. I mean, it might be Finn, probably not, but
SummerSlam.
I would love to see Dom and Penta for the IC title at SummerSlam.
Let me ask you this.
That would be
I'll
cool.
ask both of you guys this. How much AAA involvement do we get with SummerSlam with it being 2 nights? Do we see the AAA championship defended? I don't see why you don't.
Like,
when we've seen it defended on a PLE today, why wouldn't you have it at SummerSlam?
Vikingo and Grande at
Oh, don't start. Don't say that. Don't tease me.
Summerfest.
Summerfest.
Vikingo, El Grande Americano.
Would be cool.
SummerSlam night 1.
Hell
Yeah.
Put it right in the middle of the show.
About the 3rd, 4th match in.
Hasta la bang bang, baby.
Bring it on.
Oh, okay.
Those are cool looking
You
tights.
guys have anything else to say about the Dominic Mysterio Octagon Junior match?
No, I don't have much.
It was kind of a blink and you miss it moment, in
Sure,
all honesty.
Good to get Dom on the show.
That's going to leave us with the Women's Intercontinental Championship match, of course. Current reigning defending champion Lyra Valkyria.
I can't believe this is where we're ending.
We're not ending here. This is just the last match of the show that we're talking about.
That's fair.
We're
That's
not
fair.
ending here. We still got to go back and do the big reveal from the main event.
True.
Truth.
It'll set you free.
Yes. You said true. I said truth.
Well, you're speaking the truth. Yes.
Truth.
I get it.
I have one quick take about the IC title match.
Yep.
It was a really good match. The feud's been built really well.
Yes.
Let their trilogy be a step match and have it main event evolve. I don't know if Midpool H has the balls to do that or not, but that's what I would like to see. Holy Christ! Oh, her odds have gone down. Sorry. First of the 2 title fights is about to start.
Of course, we're talking about
We're locked
UFC 316.
What?
On the stream? What? On the stream here?
UFC
What?
316
I
says
like
just-
the Valkyria Becky Lynch match. I'll tell you why. These two know each other. They've worked with each other obviously before, but there's like fire here.
Yeah, it's really good stuff.
They've
done
good,
really well.
engaging, like emotional stuff, and you felt Lyra tonight having to eat a shit sandwich afterwards, and raise the arm of Becky and be humiliated before she couldn't take it anymore. We've all been to that point where the breaking point. So let's have a stip match. I don't know if it's at Evolve. I don't think they can wait till SummerSlam.
I'd rather
But
have it be at
guys,
Evolve.
We're not that far away from SummerSlam.
Not Evolve. I'm an idiot. Evolution.
Evolution. Yeah.
If I said Evolve first, and it made you say
What
Evolve,
if
my
it's
bad.
Becky Bayley for the IC title?
Save that for SummerSlam.
Yeah, you could say
Let
Batman.
Becky come back at Evolution. Or not Becky. Let Bayley come back at Evolution.
But you
And
have
then-
Becky and Lyra 3 at Evolution
Yeah,
with Becky winning.
I'm for either one winning.
Yeah, I could go either way there as
I can
well.
go either way.
I'll tell you why it doesn't matter to me. I don't care either. Go back and watch Becky Lynch and Tiffany Stratton. 3 matches they had.
So good.
Becky went down to NXT.
The last woman standing match. Talk about Hasta la Bang Bang.
That was fun. That
Jeez
was a
Louise.
fun little feud they had. But I'm enjoying this one. This match really kicks some ass on the card.
Yeah, man. I used to be. There was part of me. There were times where I was a Becky Lynch is overrated person, but no, she's when she's going, man. When she sinks her teeth into it, much better as a heel. I'm really glad they did that.
And Lyra's getting so much better.
Yes,
For
Yeah.
sure.
so I'm
Like
for
I
it.
don't ever have. I have never ever questioned her in ring ability, but she's gotten so much better with the character and on camera and the talking and getting the connection with the audience. So I think a lot needs to be said. And you want to talk about her? How long has she been on the main roster? There, old wizard. It hasn't been too terribly long.
No, it's been since after the beginning of the year.
So there's
Lyra.
Less than 6 months.
I thought she was in the King of the Ring or Queen of the Ring final.
No, you're right. It's been a year. It's
About a
been
year.
just over a year.
So there you
I'm
go.
sorry.
That's
my bad.
another name that NXT had to replace, and they did a pretty good job of it.
Yeah, they did.
Look out. NXT is going to be really good here coming up. It is good.
And having Becky as the IC champ does a good job to actually give the women's mid-card titles some juice.
Well, it's kind of like when Seth Rollins gave the IC title some juice. Remember those days?
God, yeah. His IC title reign was great.
That was fun. Those matches were a lot of fun. I think he's coming for his title, though, on Monday night.
Let's hope.
What did you want to talk about? You didn't want to end with the women. What did you want to talk about? The big reveal and the...
Well, yeah, I mean, of course.
Talk about it.
I mean...
former NWA World Heavyweight Champion.
Former two-time NWA World's Heavyweight Champion.
I love how you tell me to talk about it and Joe just fucking steals my thunder, you fucking prick.
Talk about it.
I just got to bring that up because mid-2000s TNA was my childhood, bro. Let me dine off.
No, I mean, Truth, for all intents and purposes, was released. They decided they're not going to renew his contract, and then here he comes out of nowhere to cost John Cena the tag match. Brilliant.
And he looked stone cold serious in it too. No goofy Truth. He looked like, I'm here to beat the shit out of you, bro.
And if you haven't been on WWE Shop, his shirt doesn't say R Truth.
It says Ron Killings.
It says Ron Killings.
Ron the Truth Killings is back, baby.
You know what?
Let's go.
Let's say maybe this was his send off tonight, and if this was his send off, then it was terrific.
Yes,
I would
he
say
took
that
out his childhood hero after being embarrassed on national television, and made sure that his guy, his childhood hero, didn't win. Now, if he is re-signed,
I think he is. From everything I've seen, is WWE Shop. I don't think would have dropped the shirt if he wasn't re-signed.
Here's what I want to see. Let's drop the goofiness.
That's what I think.
Ron Killings be Ron Killings.
That's what I think's about to happen. I don't think it's going to be some crazy push, but I think we're going to get a nice little segment story of it, and I think it'll be beautiful.
And I think it's fine.
I love it.
Absolutely.
People are going to love it.
I love it.
He can still sprinkle in the goofy here and there, but he needs to be Ron Killings.
He's a really charismatic dude, man. Like,
yeah, I mean,
it'll be really cool if they let him turn the clock back and be like his old self.
Hey guys, he's an attitude era wrestler.
It'll be interesting to see. It'll be very interesting to see what kind of juice he's got if they let him do some sort of program coming.
I know everybody loves his comedy work. Everybody loves R Truth because of the funny stuff that he does. Did the comedic aspect hold him back? Could he have held the WWE Championship if he had gone serious sooner?
I know people want to say that it's probably not his choice, CZ.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Remember when I asked the Headbangers about the Flying Nuns, and they're like, absolutely. Like, whenever you're given something, you don't want to rock the boat unless you're one of those top guys that can push back. And I don't think he was ever in that position to push back.
Right.
The steak and the scissors.
Yes.
You laughed about that earlier.
Yes, I did. Please fill me in.
Go ahead.
Okay. So
and don't interrupt them, Joe.
I won't.
Okay.
We are at the Sandra Lee Memorial Car Show, the fourth annual. Love you, Ricky. Thanks for having us. We got to interview Lash LaRue, the Headbangers, and Buff Bagwell. While the Headbangers are sitting with us, Thrasher looks over at me and he's like, "Are you even going to say anything?" Because I was letting Nick lead the show. Nick is the face of the show. I am the booker. I am the man who runs the.
He's playing the drums, and I'm singing the songs.
There's a reason that I'm the wizard. I'm hiding. I'm the one behind the curtain making shit happen. Well,
I'm the face that runs the place.
Yes. I look him right in the eye and I said, "Man, I'll contribute every so often, but for all intents and purposes, I'm the steak. He's the sizzle." And Thrasher thought I said scissors.
That's fantastic.
So fast forward to Buff Bagwell coming in, And one of the first thing he says, so this got around with the wrestlers because they were off camera joking about it. Buff Bagwell, one of the first things he says, "I'm so happy to be here with the steak and the scissors." That was an ooh.
So to have a pro wrestler rib you on your show is pretty cool.
That is pretty dope.
Yeah.
The
Shout out
steak,
to Buff.
the steak and the scissors. Cut it out.
Shout out to Dave
That's the
Coulier
finish.
there.
That's the finisher.
That's
Cut it out.
Cut it out.
I love it.
That's your guys' double clothesline.
Kangaroo kicks.
You guys look at each other. Cut it out. The crowd goes nuts.
No.
The crowd's chanting, "Cut it out."
Stereo Booker T scissor kicks.
Yes.
Oh, that would. Oh my gosh. That would.
So we're not only collapsing the back of their neck, but also their lower back.
Oh.
You can have the Booker T scissor kick. I'm going to learn mine from JT Energy.
Okay. You're all right.
I'm just my bad.
Is there anything else we need to say about the show? I mean, Monday nights must watch on Netflix now.
Big time.
With the all but.
It's gonna be looming.
It's got to happen, guys.
If it doesn't, I will be.
If it doesn't,
I will be scratching my bald.
I'll be like, what are they waiting for? What's the moment they're waiting for?
I don't know what that's. I know. I don't know.
I don't have a good answer.
Okay. Does Rollins' attempt get foiled?
By look in his eyes. What do you see?
Pepsi Phil.
Pepsi Phil.
Pepsi.
Could. That'd be
That's possible.
Him and Sammy come in and run down, and
I mean,
then Gunther's just sitting there like, what am I supposed to do? Faction warfare, baby.
are they going to add another member?
Who's the fourth member?
Do you think they do? Because I think I got a guy that it could be. If they add another member, that would make sense.
I just don't know who it would be.
Who you got, Nick?
Nick Bull, who you got?
Wasn't on the show tonight.
Okay.
Wasn't on WrestleMania.
The Rock?
Nope.
I want your soul.
Sami Zayn.
Oh. Turn of the century right there.
Would be something.
He's got the past with Paul.
Does.
Him and Rollins are on screen legit, real tight. He's got nothing else. KO's gone for a couple years. There's nothing for Sami Zayn right now.
Yeah, that would be something. That'd be fascinating if they actually pulled that trigger.
You know when he does it?
Monday
when they come out to foil Seth's cash in.
Oh.
And he aids him.
He drops Pepsi Phil.
Yes.
He lubricates.
So there you go. There you go. There you go.
You heard it here, folks. Booker man Nick Bull calling his shot.
We're gonna find out how wrong he is.
But how right? But how right it sounds.
It really does. That would be super.
It's not too outlandish. If they want to add an extra member, it's perfect. He's kind of on the back burner right now. People forgotten about him. When they hear his music and see him come out, well, Punk's got to come out first.
Yep.
And then Zayn's got to come out.
It would be spicy. I would be here for it. I'd be more than here for it.
We'll see, but that's what I'd like to see. Who knows?
Stay tuned.
Who knows? We all like the fantasy book. I just do it out loud all the time. Anyways, next WWE PLE is what, Mr. Wizard?
Next PLE is...
Or is it Saturday night's main event?
Mr. Wizard, you're so formal.
Mr. Wizard.
We don't have a pay-per-view at the end of this month, do we?
No.
Next one's Evolution. Ain't
Next one is Evolution.
One's Night of Champions.
That is at the end of July.
End of July. So our next WWE show will be NXT Great American Bash.
When is that?
Same day as All In.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
And then Saturday night's main events that night
Yes.
against All In. No, All In's in the afternoon.
I thought
All In is in the afternoon.
All In is a 2:00 show, my friend.
Oh, wow. I thought it was a night show. How about that?
I believe, if you will, that Great American Bash is an afternoon show as well. Saturday night's main event. So lots. It's going to be very interesting. And I think the draft is very soon. So that's going to be very interesting as well.
The most important draft already happened, though. We already did our draft.
We did. We need to check that, see how those things went.
Yeah.
We need to update that, like maybe in a few months, month or two. Kind of go back and look at it and see
Check
how things went.
See how we're booking our rosters.
Absolutely.
Check our work.
Absolutely. Any closing notes? Anything you guys want to add here before we put a bow on this thing and enjoy the rest of this evening?
I've loved being on here with you guys, man. I know we got a lot of stuff in the chamber that we're planning and talking about. It's a pleasure to hop on here with you boys, and
absolutely,
yeah.
Always welcome.
Of course,
even if you're ignorant in your education.
We did say something earlier about a possible podcast in the future. We'll wait. We'll pump the brakes, but there's something coming soon.
Some cool stuff we got. We do more than just watch wrestling and bull jive. We actually come up with cool ideas.
We do.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about wrestling too.
We talk a lot about wrestling.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
I can't wait to see what kind of crazy old thing we watch together tonight at like 2 a.m. Let me talk right here.
Oh,
I'm gonna let the cat out of the bag.
Get out of the bag here.
Oh, brother.
This is my surprise here.
My surprise here.
Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Let's wrap this up, and we're gonna get down that road.
Like,
all right.
That was one night. Then we watched the cluster. You know what? Another night.
Yeah, we watched. Ooh, I know what we can watch.
Oh boy, I can't wait. I love it.
It's a match you guys have never seen.
Oh my.
Ooh.
Okay.
The Terry Funk Sabu barbed wire match.
Oh wow. Yeah.
ECW.
Okay, I'm in. I'm buckled up.
Anyways, that's neither here nor there. CZ, you got anything else you want to touch on?
Not about
Any
Money in the Bank
announcements or anything?
So let's kind of talk about the next couple of weeks. Tomorrow we have Mason Grayskull.
Yep.
Coming on. That'll be exciting. That's at our normal time. A week from tomorrow, we are welcoming Casey Jacks, new member of the Chosen in SCW, but that's not all he does. We're going to learn his story. That is going to be at a special time. That'll be at 1 p.m. next Sunday. And then I'm really excited. I posted it on Facebook earlier today. 2 weeks from today, our 200th episode.
200, brother.
200.
200. And this one is a makeup.
This is a makeup.
We had this one booked back in May. Severe weather came through the area where Hollywood lives. Of course, Hollywood, Jeannie Basson from Glow Wrestling. She has written a book. It's out. We are going to discuss that book and, of course, discuss writing a book.
And
I wouldn't know where to start.
I wouldn't either.
And
well, I do know where to. I've tried to write a book before, but that's neither here nor there.
I think the problem with books is everybody starts at the beginning.
Yeah, probably.
Start, I mean, when you're writing the perspective, like you always write it from your youth up.
Right.
Maybe try something. Maybe the Benjamin Button effect in books.
Maybe.
Anyways, man, we're really going places here.
We are off the rails.
A lot of stuff coming up. A lot of busy things going on this summer with wrestling. This is the place to be. We're so glad you're here. This is how we do it. We just love to sit and talk wrestling and bust each other's chops. This has been the Card Subject to Change podcast, the podcast by the fan for the fan. Of course, I'm going to say it one more time because we can't do it without them. We're powered by Low Pies Pizza. We're built by Durham Remodeling, colored by Ryan Allison Tattoo. Thank you so much for Joe the Show Winkel.
Thank you, boys.
For Never Wrong Nick Bull.
I am the Wizard CZ. This has been Card Subject to Change. We will see you tomorrow night at 6:30. In the meantime, go enjoy pro wrestling.
This has been a For Frequency's Sake Podcast Network production. For more great content, subscribe to For Frequency's Sake on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter.